White Steve.
What's up, guys?
White Steve.
Hey, right before we started taping, this Raiders line just moved to +9. So that can only mean one thing. We were texting about it. Looks like Derek Carr's probably going to be
sat down.
They don't want to spend a bunch of money on him if he gets hurt. Plus, 3 picks last week. Josh Jacobs, that's a big question mark for me. Is he going to play? He said he's done with this shit last week. Anyways, when we get into the pro games, you guys might want to look at that as one of your locks. Maybe you take the Niners. I'm only saying that because I think I might be in the lead now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, Steve has the lead.
Okay, what's the score? What's the score?
You two are tied here.
Ooh.
Steve had a big 3-0 week.
Damn,
nice, Steve.
Good for you, Steve.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So he leads 29, and then the fellas are bringing it up with the 27.
Okay.
Oh, dogs?
Yeah.
Anything
In-laws are in town.
Anything can happen.
How many dogs did they bring?
One little one.
He's got a big personality.
He's got a big personality.
Sounds like.
Get him a mic. Does he know we're on Riverside?
No comment.
Steve,
what kind of dog is it?
It's like a
Like
little
a Shih Tzu?
little fluffy.
Pomeranian?
I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
Do you know the name of the dog?
Lucy.
Lucy.
Okay.
I've been calling it a him this whole time.
Yeah, that was.
Boy, do I feel like an idiot right now.
You should.
Yep.
Hey, Steve, I was with you on Carolina last week. Not in this little exercise, but in real life.
I loved them last week. This slate this week, good luck.
Yeah, can't see it.
You were all over Carolina, yeah. And I kind of wonder, I mean, let's not do the pro pod before I kind of got us into this.
Okay.
We should talk college first, but that Bucks line, does that qualify as stinky?
Doesn't every Buccaneers line qualify?
It does. But I do think, for the record, you could throw Carolina in a 3-team teaser and just say, hey, that's a lock, because look at the Bucks schedule and tell me the last time they beat a team by 2 scores. They're getting Ryan Jensen
week
back.
2 maybe? Really?
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're getting Ryan Jensen back. That news snuck in last night about 10:30. So that is significant. And
somebody's on the waiver wire late at night grinding.
well, I like to open my tabs.
That guy Hainsey must be thanking his stars.
Yeah, he's like, stop getting yelled at.
Stop yelling at me.
Yep. All right. Well, the Bucks, the last time they beat somebody by 2 scores was September 18th.
Wow.
That was the Bucks beating the Saints by 10. So the last time, if you can get Carolina like 13 in a 3-team teaser,
there
the
you
last
go.
time anything like that happened, I think, was week 1 when they beat the Cowboys 19-0 or whatever it was.
He's got us ready for New Year's.
Oh, I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
Ready.
I'm ready because when you can't see the board, you tease the board. Okay.
Have you ever shaved your head?
Yeah, I've done it.
You have?
Yeah. What? Why do you ask?
It
didn't look as good as like Kyle's head. Like my head it's like a plateau up there.
Did you ever have a fade?
I've had somewhat of a fade. I had a mullet fade for a while, but I think I'm going to settle into this haircut now. What would you call this haircut? This might be my forever haircut.
Actually, you were looking like somebody on the internet in a clip I saw. Give me a little bit of time.
I feel like the guy, your favorite guy from White Lotus has this haircut.
Oh,
Theo,
the
dickhead.
Yeah.
I got a dickhead haircut.
Yeah. Kind of like dickhead, I guess, is what I would call it.
Okay. This is my forever haircut, but it's better than meth head, which was my last haircut. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. College football. Matt's picked up. He's opened the Theo tab. It was a fake dick, by the way.
Why is it bookmarked?
It was a fake dick. Yeah. I don't know if we've talked about this on this pod. Have you seen White Lotus season 2?
no, I haven't.
Okay, there's a dick in there. A lot of people are like, "Oh man, look at the size of that thing." Well, it turns out the thing's fake. So anybody at home that watched White Lotus was like, "Damn, dude, guy's got it all." Some women don't enjoy pieces like that. It's fake anyways. All right. So we've got Michigan, TCU. Here's what I'm looking at, Steve. The total, 58.5. I feel like this could be an over.
Yeah, I think both games can. My biggest thing with this game, Chris, is the idea of TCU's defense, right? What's been the story all year? They've fallen behind, and they've come back in second halves. And my issue is you can't do that this time because you're playing a team that thrives on second halves also, and they play a different brand of ball that you have seen and you're accustomed to seeing in the Big 12. No offense to the Big 12. I think it was the most competitive conference there was this year, and I think that's good for TCU to be put in those predicaments, but that's not a good script here because when you look at Michigan, I went back and watched Michigan-Ohio State again last night. Ohio State got lucky. They tried to get Corum going in the run game, Michigan, and he had a couple creases. If it's Donovan, he's gone. And then they tried the other running back because they didn't want to get Donovan's hand. That was still an issue. And he missed a couple cuts too. So that could have been a lot worse than it was, even though, they were trailing at halftime. But TCU did a really, really good job when I go back and watch the Texas game of being a problem to ID. That center coming up and pointing at the wrong guy, so that zone scheme's not going the right way. And TCU brought the wood. They were super physical, and that's what we need to see from them. I think it's absolutely critical for their defense to show up in the first half because they cannot go down early or else they're going to be put in a predicament on offense where Michigan knows how they need to throw the ball, and that's not what you want. TCU's done a really good job staying balanced on offense. So I think TCU's going to, take some shots early. I think the first half is enormous, but yeah, I think the over is the play there.
Centers do that? They point at the wrong guy on purpose?
No.
A little subterfuge? You're saying they were actually getting it wrong?
Yes.
Subterfuge.
Did I just change the game of offensive line play?
That you should do fake points?
I'm like the new Andy Heck?
Yeah.
Like, hey, 22's the mic.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, that's
41's
yeah,
the mic.
that's a code.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Yeah, somebody in the nose listening to this pod, you might see that.
Yeah.
Code words.
Also, news just broke from Dov Kleiman. Who is Dov Kleiman anyways? Does Dov Kleiman just start? He's this Dov Kleiman guy. You know these guys? They just Ari Mirov too. They just start with like an account, and then all of a sudden they just regurgitate news, and eventually they're monetizing their Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, Dov Kleiman says, and he's in the know, possible reunion, 49-year-old free agent wide receiver Terrell Owens has been in contact with the Cowboys about rejoining the team and NFL. We've been in constant communication with Jerry Jones' office over the last few days about the possibility of him returning. I assume that quote's from the agent.
I love that guy, Terrell Owens.
I do too. He's got great candles. He was a great guest.
But 33-year-old T.Y. Hilton can barely get a target out there.
Yeah, T.Y.
49-year-old.
Yeah, it had to be. Well, maybe they used T.O. for like 3rd and 40. I would love to see T.O. back on a team. The spectacle.
Yeah.
Back to Michigan TCU. The line's 7.5. Steve, is it too much?
The stories of the playoffs, guys, right, has been blowouts. Right?
Especially the first round.
Blowouts.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of taking this one just rooting, but I'll take the 7.5. I just feel like these two matchups are closer than we've had in years past. So I think the underdogs are very formidable. They do cause problems for the favorite teams, and I don't love it, but in your office pools and stuff like that, I would take the points with TCU.
Okay. Georgia, Ohio State, 6.5 is the line. Total 62.5. You said you might like the over. Can they block Jalen Carter, and how would they do that?
Well, I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to think they're going to.
Yeah.
Michigan's got a big guy in the middle, Mozzie, who really turned it on in the second half of that Ohio State game. And this whole Ohio State dynamic, guys, is fascinating to me because just look at C.J. Stroud, right? I mean, Heisman favorite, 3 more touchdowns. I think, he's close to 40. And then it's poof, and it's gone. And now you face a version of a stronger Michigan team. You know, when you look at Georgia, what they do with tight ends, defensive line play, solid offensive line, good decision maker at quarterback, guys that can get it on the outside, I wonder how they're going to be able to protect C.J. Stroud. He was a different player when he had guys in his face, and that pressure, was coming up the middle, and that pocket was shrinking on him. Not able to step in throws, trying to fit in windows, making a bad decision going in at the end when that game was basically over. And those were things we didn't see all year from C.J. Stroud. So the protection is absolutely enormous for Ohio State. And my issue with Ohio State is, as much as I love Ryan Day as a play caller, that system and the creativity takes a lot of time on the outside, whether it's deep crossing routes, deep comebacks, that whole thing. And will Ohio State protect enough to have those things? I think Ohio State has to change their game plan and go with some more quick hitting stuff and use C.J. Stroud's accuracy, his strength in those situations, because we know they're going to play man. We know they're going to bring pressures. And I think Georgia likes the idea of C.J. Stroud not being a mobile guy. But I think both offenses are more than capable. We know Ohio State has to score because I think Georgia's going to do pretty well on the offensive side. So my favorite thing in this game is the over.
All right, so could I tease the two favorites and sleep well?
See, I go the other way. I tease both dogs.
Wow. Even in the era of blowouts.
Yeah, I know. It's like I said,
there's a 20-point
I'm kind of biased because
win
I'm
in
rooting
here.
for good games.
Yeah.
But I would go with that. You're getting two touchdowns. I feel like you got teams that are going to be winging it. If it is a 20-point game, they're going to try and score. So that could be a situation. Or if they come out and play well in the second half, you feel really good about getting 2 touchdowns. So I'm going against the grain in this one. I know it. But I would, when it comes to the tease god, my advice for tease god, if he still takes advice, I would tease both dogs and have some fun.
Who's got the better shot at winning the game outright, TCU or Ohio State?
Ooh, great question.
It's
really
TCU,
good.
Isn't it?
I think so.
All those Ohio State receivers, what if they do change it up? They are quick hitters.
Yeah. No, listen, I think they both have a chance. I really do. More so, last year, just look at the matchups we had, and it wasn't fun. Cincinnati, like Alabama, just finally came out and said, all right, we're going to run the ball
that was
on
ugly.
your guts. So I feel like TCU will have a good plan offensively. I like the stoutness of their defense. I do think they can hang around. And I like both underdogs to keep them close.
Wow.
I feel like the line should be different, though. Like Georgia should be 7.5 and Michigan should be 6.5. What about you guys?
Right. Yeah. I could see those flips.
That's why it smells a little fishy to me, the Ohio State line.
Y'all both played in bowl games. What do you think about Georgia playing in Atlanta? Will that be a factor? Will that be a leg up?
Yeah, I think it's a leg up. I also think, sometimes people think proximity to your campus and to the people that can pull at you is a negative. So I think they're pretty damn disciplined, man. They've been here, done that. Yeah. I feel like they'll be locked in, and the fans on Saturday will help.
The way their schedule is panned out, guys, they've been able to have some off weeks and rally up for the big games. But I look at that, a good thing making on the other side. You have everything you want as far as Ohio State goes. Think about where they were and how much in the dumps they were before USC lost, off a blowout loss at home to Michigan, watching Michigan go to the playoff. Now you get to go play the number 1 team in the country in their home state. That's enough to get my attention and right the ship. And I will come back at you guys with this one. Would an Ohio State-Michigan national championship be a good thing for the sport?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, every year it's like there's this unstoppable force, whether it's Georgia or Bama or Clemson. It'd be nice to see somebody else play in the last game of the season, because I don't think anybody expects, as close as we are to having this historic thing, people aren't talking about it because it just seems so unlikely, but we are.
We're getting ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I think even if you're not a part of a storied rivalry, you pay attention to it.
Yep.
I think
I will say being
Carolina
at Duke
hoops.
Carolina last year in the Final Four was pretty big, man.
Yeah.
Like that thing was ramping up like crazy, and it was pretty special to be at.
Yeah.
Is there another rivalry that you could see both teams in the, like a non-traditional SEC rivalry, non-SEC rivalry that you could see featured in the playoff in the near future between two teams that are trending in a direction they could pop into the playoff?
Southern Cal and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Why not? Marcus Freeman with Sam Hartman at the helm.
That's a good one.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry.
Great questions today.
Yeah, that's a good
Stumpers.
question. I couldn't tell if you guys were like, that's a
How
terrible
about Clemson and Florida State?
Clemson, Florida State, I guess if you consider that it just seems like the two scummiest programs in the ACC. I'd be rooting for Florida State there. Okay, well,
Oklahoma and Texas.
I was going to say we're a long way from Oklahoma and Nebraska.
Yeah. Well, Matt Rule, I mean, like, are you feeling good about Matt Rule? I forget, maybe we asked you when he got hired.
Love Matt Rule.
Okay, you feel good about that
Love
hire. His social media game is
Woo!
He's on the Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty and Baylor.
Yeah. How about the Orange Bowl? Damn, Steve.
A lot of orange.
Which
Yeah,
orange?
it is literally the Orange Bowl.
Which orange do you like better,
Tennessee or Clemson?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
Right
Yeah.
answer. Right answer.
5.5, 63.5. Hard for me to call it, Steve.
Yeah, it's a tough one because of the opt-outs also. Tennessee is going to look like a totally different team than when we saw them, say, in that great game against Alabama. So Joe Milton's a guy who has plenty of experience, hype around him in Michigan, got out of there, came to Tennessee, and Hendon Hooker beats him out. And now it's his turn without any of his receivers. So I think it's going to be kind of an ugly game. Everybody's happy, that Cade Klubnik's at the forefront now, and now he gets a chance to go against an SEC defense. I think this is, anybody. Dabo's great at finding motivation, a chance to, cap off a double-digit win season against an SEC school. I like the idea of that. I think Tennessee's missing too many pieces. Clemson's obviously got some defensive guys out, and one of the best units I thought this year, or most pleasant surprises, was Tennessee's offensive line. So I'm interested to see that matchup. That's where that game will be won. Tennessee's offensive line against Clemson's defensive line.
Macon just whispered under.
Sounds
Ooh,
like
I
an
like that.
under. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Okay. Oh, is Uiagalelei the most?
He's a Beaver.
Is
He's
he
a
the most
Beav.
heralded, prospect to ever step onto the campus up there in Corvallis? Like, have they ever had a
Whoa.
guy with that much hype walking on? I mean, think about it. If he had walked off a high school field, I mean, this is a big pickup for Oregon State, is it not? Even if he's
Bigger
damaged
than
goods.
one of your favorite teammates of all time?
Yeah, but he wasn't. I don't think Steven Jackson was as big a prospect. Was he? What was Steven Jackson's recruiting profile coming out? I know that Steven Jackson's the best player to ever walk onto the field at Corvallis, but I mean this is a big Steven Jackson, El Dorado running back, 24/7 Sports, 2001 prospect info. He was a 4-star recruit.
Number 16 running back in the country, 78 national.
And what was
ranking.
Uiagalelei?
Top. But I was going to say, right now, I'd take Steven Jackson.
Oh yeah, we obviously.
No, I'm saying
but
like at this point in their college careers.
Yeah, yes. Yes, it's just a crazy thing to think that somebody who was so highly recruited and was supposed to be the heir apparent at Clemson is ending up somewhere like Corvallis. How do they land him?
I think there's a lot. He definitely wanted to go out west.
Yep.
And when you look at Jonathan Smith and what he's done at Oregon State, they lost their guy early in the year, and they had a chance to have a special season. They had to play USC and Utah back-to-back weeks, and those are their losses.
Yeah.
And when you look at they ran the ball without throwing a pass and coming back from 21 points down against Oregon. I think that
was
system,
a thriller.
I feel like Clemson's system is just stale to me, and I think this is a really, really good fit for DJ to go there. Jonathan Smith he was a phenomenal quarterback. He was the quarterback of those great Oregon State teams, and he's done a great job, man. That team is dangerous. You saw what they did they dismantled an inferior Florida team in the bowl game, but that's a team to keep your eyes on next year. They got a bunch of speed at wide receiver, and now hopefully, with some better coaching, he'll get the ball to those guys.
They could be fun, yeah.
Oregon State.
Put me down for an Oregon State
year.
future next year.
Ready for the top 3 ranked Beaver recruits of all time?
Yeah, sure.
Ready.
3 street.
Does it include junior college guys?
I don't think so.
I thought you guys were going to say Roy Schuning.
3,
Chad.
Steven Jackson. 2, Derek Anderson. And 1, Isaac Seumalo.
Ah, Pro Bowl alternate from the Philadelphia Eagles.
An Eagle. He was born in Honolulu, went to Corvallis High School.
He's a dude. Love that guy.
Class of 2012. He was a 5-star, number 1.
We used to
guard.
hammer Derek Anderson in the NFC West. Big ass target.
Also,
it didn't
from
matter
Oregon.
where. You just got to close your eyes and launch yourself. You're going to hit Derek Anderson. Guy's 6'8".
I just remember lining up again. I think it was DeMarcus Lawrence,
Yeah.
number 1.
You lined up
Just
against him?
Badass player. And from
He
Compton.
played with Algie Crumpler and against DeMarcus Lawrence. The guy's like Highlander. Who was it?
Jack
It couldn't have been
Youngblood was hard
DeMarcus
handled,
Lawrence. DeMarcus
was-
Lawrence is the guy that
No, I know.
went to the Pro Bowl with 6 sacks this year. It's good to play for the Cowboys.
Marcus Lawrence is 30 years old.
Pause and look up 2000 Oregon State lineup.
Some guy named DeMarcus.
Um,
He was wearing number 1?
Yes.
Oh, man.
From Compton. CPT written on his wrists. He was about it.
He was about it. You had CT written on your wrist.
I did not have it.
Okay.
Ken Simonton was on that team.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Chad Johnson was on that team.
Richard McNutt.
DeLawrence Grant.
DeLawrence Grant.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, fuck. Well, it's rare that Steve gets a college football name wrong. So,
DeMarcus Grant.
yeah.
Hushmanzada.
Hushmanzada, yeah.
What a squad.
Yeah.
That's a team that pulverized Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl.
How
Yeah, they
many
went
Oregon
11-1.
State pros can you name? We've done this with Kansas State. I don't think you're going to be as good.
No, I think we just did all the ones
We
I
just
can
did
do.
it. Roy Schuning. Add him to the list. Okay, Sugar Bowl. Bama, K-State. 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Are we in trouble? Are we in trouble with these bowls because we don't know who's playing?
Yeah, it's hard to see the board.
That's what I was saying. I got to see these teams in practices, and beat writers come with the info. We need to know who's getting off the plane.
Come on, Barrett
and
Jones. Give us something.
Who's practicing? So we obviously know Bryce and Will
Preston
Anderson are
Barrett
playing. The
Jones.
guy for me is Gibbs, whether or not he's playing. Kansas State, I think this is the biggest game in their school history.
Whoa.
Wow.
I know they lost the Big 12, Big 8 in 2000. They lost in the conference championship game with Michael Bishop, and that cost them a chance in the national championship. But when you look at the stage here against a perennial power in Alabama, I don't think it gets much bigger. So I feel like Kansas State is going to be good to go. I just don't think they can hold up for 60. I think this Alabama thing is a whole different world. The way they come at you with that defensive front, it's something that you haven't seen in the Big 12. Now, is Bryce and Will going to play the whole game? I would expect them to. So that's why I lean Alabama.
Their bowl record's not great. There was a long stretch between 02 was they won the Holiday Bowl. Actually, I'll never forget that bowl game. Terrell Suggs, others. Yeah, we had Sproles in that game. The whole, we've already done the Kansas State nostalgia thing, but after
Holiday Bowl is
2002,
always
that was
great.
fun. Yeah, big humpback whale,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Shamu.
Yep. Was it Shamu or was it a
Is there a lot of
humpback whale?
Shamus?
No, there was only one Shamu. But there are a lot
Y'all
of
are
workers.
thinking of Free Willy.
Yeah, be thinking of the movie Free Willy maybe. But between 02 and 2013, they did not win a bowl game. They lost 5 straight bowl games. They lost the Fiesta Bowl against the Buckeyes. They lost the Texas Bowl, the Pinstripe Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and then the Fiesta Bowl again.
Bowl to Oregon.
So they've been in a couple of these big bowl games, but you're saying because they're playing Bama.
The opponent, yes.
Yeah, it is a big
It's
deal
a huge
for them.
opportunity for them.
Okay.
Huge.
Did we pick a winner yet, or was I looking at Kansas
take
State's-
Bama.
Okay, you got Bama. Okay, well, I texted Barrett Jones, so
Okay.
he'll give me the Harvey Updike special. Cotton Bowl, Monday, 1 p.m. Tulane versus USC.
Yep.
That
All on
total
Caleb Williams.
62.
Caleb Williams is going to play. You can't touch USC if he doesn't play. I think if he doesn't play, Tulane goes off as a favorite.
Is there something with the Tulane quarterback about the portal, or
No, he's back in.
He's back,
I believe,
okay.
I think there's a possible insurance policy. That
oh,
came.
nice.
Yeah, so he's going to play.
See, I like the insurance policy thing.
I love insurance.
Buy
generally.
them all an insurance policy. We can get back to doing our bowl games.
And the schools could do that now.
They could. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in Tulane especially, you hear they're expanding, Steve. Plans have been drawn, and by the year 2026, expect Tulane to become 4-lane.
Mm-hmm. Woo! All right.
You got a good memory there, making.
The Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Is everybody
I'll be
playing
there.
in this game? Is this gonna
Nice.
because I feel like the Rose Bowl, if any of the bowl games should be,
Honda.
there's a sanctity.
See
Yeah.
a lot of
Uh,
Honda signage.
Former Conklin Award
Really?
winner Dalton Kincaid will not be playing.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Joey Porter Jr., best corner for Penn State, not playing.
Related to Joey Porter?
Son.
Wow. Well, I figured if he was related, but the Joey Porter, he's got a son that's a corner.
Parker Washington out. Receiver for Penn State. It feels like the world is on Utah in this game. It scares me.
Okay, the world is on Utah, so I'll probably stay away and just enjoy the pageantry. That could be a Bevel Conway. You're not really into the Utah uniforms. I
No,
love the
I'm not.
Utah
They're
uniforms.
going red helmet, red jerseys, white pants.
Okay, and that means
And
the Penn State will be
going
in
all
white.
whites.
That could be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not in on the
Okay,
Utah.
all right.
Yeah.
Are you in on Penn State's uniform?
Oh yes. Oh yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well
best.
that's college football. Let's get to the main event. Week whatever it is, 17.
Trash slate.
Week
Is the
17.
I don't know. Can I talk you into the Eagles fighting for their lives with a backup quarterback against the Saints, home field advantage? Can I talk you into Panthers Bucks? That's going to be fun.
No.
No, it's not going to be fun.
It'll be fun.
it's a
But I
rivalry.
don't want to
It's a
rely
rivalry.
on any of those for a championship. to
Kansas City, Denver. Denver's going to rally because they fired Nathaniel Hackett, and you know how this goes. Even though the one dude turned down the interim head coach job, so usually they rally around the interim head coach.
I'm good.
Nobody in Denver wants that job, so just rally around each other. Indy and the Giants. How do I spin that game?
Well, I
Just
think
keep
it's
spinning.
a little bit tricky.
I do too. Okay. This slate kind of sucks ass.
Yeah.
We get to
Bad.
see if Baker Mayfield's any good again. I mean, like, what do you make of the Baker thing? The other day, I think some people rolled their eyes as we talked ourselves into Baker Mayfield in L.A. in 2000 and what's next year, 23.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Is it fool's gold seeing him run this offense over the last couple of weeks, or might they have something here?
I think there's one. It's McVay.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's awesome. I love Baker's going to show up and compete and give it his all. Now, has the decision making always been great? No, but that's part of what comes with him.
Yeah.
And he's got some riverboat in him. He likes to take chances.
Yep.
So I think the Rams are really into this. Trying to screw up people's seasons. Problem is, Chargers are already in. How much blue and yellow in SoFi? Wow.
Yikes.
That's a lot of blue and yellow.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, I'm not necessarily going to give that out.
Okay.
But Steve just said the key thing. Chargers are in.
Chargers
Yeah.
are in, right? Yeah. Well,
6.5 points.
yeah. Well, let's give our locks out, shall we?
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. First one. I am going to bet the Rams. I'm going to buy the half point.
Okay.
And buy that to 7. The Rams have just overachieved the last couple games, man. And with what you said, the Chargers being in and the Chargers not being – well, you know what scares me a little bit? The other night, the Chargers took care of business. They covered. They won. I might talking myself out of this pick.
But the Chargers want to avoid the Chiefs.
Chargers definitely want to avoid
They
the
want to
Chiefs.
keep winning.
Yeah, they want to keep winning.
Okay.
Fuck. Let me. All right. You know what? Fuck it. But fuck it indeed.
But fucking indeed, Chris. That's where you're going?
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
Okay.
Catching a touchdown.
Okay. All right. I'm not seeing it, Steve. I'm really not seeing it. So I'm going to go with one of two dogs here. I'm going to go with a dog that continues to play hard. Now, they don't have much to play for, going against a club that might have everything to play for, but I still sort of like the spot. Chicago Bears plus 6 points at Ford Field. Sunday, 1 o'clock. Y'all hate it?
No. Don't know how to feel about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Me neither.
Not a lot of feelings for the trash slate.
Yep. For the trash slate.
That quarterback in Chicago, he can score some points on his own.
Is he going to be the best quarterback ever to win one game on the road?
I mean, you would think the Bears were a lot better this year. I mean, you
No
would think
doubt.
they weren't
It's
picking
crazy
way
how that
higher
works.
because, the highlights that we've seen every Sunday. I mean, there's a lot to be excited about in Chicago, and one of the things you're excited about is the draft pick. It's high.
Okay. I'm going to go with a home dog. I don't know why they're getting points, but I'm taking them. Seattle Seahawks at home against White Mike. I believe Seattle will still play hard. I still believe they cause some problems for the Jets, and I'm just not there. I think it's a tricky spot. I still remember when Favre went out to Seattle. I think he lost to Seneca Wallace when he was quarterback of the Jets.
Brett
Snow
Favre.
game, couldn't throw.
Cyclone.
Holmgren had it there. Seattle.
Okay, give me the.
I like that pick you just made.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me the and that Rams it is 6.5. Yeah, the Rams are catching 6.5 on the WinBet app. Can we be?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Give me the. I just can't decide. Do I want the under or the Pats in that game up in New England? The line has not moved much. Kind of makes me nervous because I think people knew a couple days ago that Tua probably wasn't going to play. The news broke today that he is indeed in concussion protocol. And he's not going to play, and Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the guy. 41.5 is the total. Fuck me running. I have so much on the Patriots at -1 because I got word from a little birdie
Nice.
5 minutes before the news broke this week. But the line just didn't move that much. So I'm a little bit afraid to bet the Patriots. I'm going to take the under at 41.5.
Love it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
Yeah.
I'll go to the desert and I'll take the half point. It's right now Niners by 10. I'll go Niners to 9.5 against Jarrett Stidham.
That sucks. Now I don't know which desert anymore because it's
I know.
Vegas.
Yeah, I know.
was
I
looking at
thought I was
Arizona.
like, Cardinals are on the road this week, dude. You're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. I know.
Good call.
I'm going 49ers at 9.5. Just take
It might
care
have
of
jumped to 10. Did it jump to
It
10?
did. It did.
He's
But I'm
buying the
taking
half point.
the half
Oh, you're
point.
buying the half point. Yeah,
Half
yeah.
point Friday
that thing
on a
has shot
Wednesday.
up in the last couple hours.
They've won games by 28, 13, 16,
Yeah, they can blow 'em
28,
out.
8, 17, and now it's Jarrett Stidham.
They can blow them out.
All
Let me
right.
ask y'all a question. Say somebody had the Atlanta Falcons under win total and it was 5, and they're sitting at 5. I firmly believe that if they lose this game, that bet's going to push because they're going to play week 18? They're going to play the Bucs, I think, and the Bucs are going to have to win that game. Not that that's a sure thing, but do you think the Cardinals can hang in this week, guys?
Can I give my pick?
Yeah, is that going to be your pick?
Yeah.
Is it the Cardinals?
It's the Falcons.
Fuck
Yeah.
you. Well, fuck you.
Um,
Fuck you, Steve.
The run game. Ritter.
They got so screwed last week, Atlanta against Baltimore.
Thank you.
So screwed. And there's not a lot there. He doesn't give you a lot, but I think Arthur Smith does a good job with having a plan every week. They obviously have holes to fill in the offense. Losing Pitts was huge, but they can run, man. Like they ran it on the Ravens. They get screwed with the grounding call before the half. They get screwed on the touchdown where it was a flop by a defensive guy. They should have won that game, and I just look at the Cardinals watching Hard Knocks every week. It is as depressing a watch as there is, and I knew they were going to come out, fired up for that game against the Bucs, and they still couldn't get it. I just think the Falcons are going to be a pain in the ass to put away, and I'll buy that 3.5 to Atlanta -3.
Damn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Is it my pick?
Yes.
What do you think about those Colts?
That's a lot of points now.
6 points.
It is a lot of points now. I'm going to stay away because their proclivity to just fucking blow games.
Yeah.
Late in the game, I'd hate to watch 45 minutes of that and then just watch it all fall apart. I'd hate to watch 45 minutes of that period.
Hey,
so.
come on now.
Well,
Giants playing for a playoff spot?
I want to take the Panthers. I really do. But I'm going to
3.5.
I'm going to keep my heart out of this thing. And I'm gonna take the Texans.
That's a great pick.
Catching 4.5.
I knew it was going to happen again. He was going to take the Houston Texans.
Catching 4.5.
You should be more upset, Macon.
Great pick. Great pick. No.
Give me an F-bomb.
I've really.
I don't know that I'm
going
to bet that pick, but I'm going to give it out.
There you go.
More
for the people.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, talk about a tough out. Those Houston Texans, and they got Jacksonville earlier in the year. Yeah. 13-6.
Yep. Now Jacksonville's a different team. If you look at Trevor Lawrence's stats the last 7-8 games, he's like in the MVP race.
Now I know you don't want to. No, I know you don't want to lose, but it doesn't matter for Jacksonville. Yeah, they're looking to Week 18.
There is like a weird path where they could get the wild card.
They're going to try to win the
game.
game.
Stuff happens.
Doug's going to try to win the game.
No doubt.
I know they're but yeah, I don't want to talk myself out of the pick, but I even if they're trying to win this game, I feel like it's a magic number there, 4.5 in Houston. The way Houston's been playing, they've been playing inspired football.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make a pick here.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
I like a lot of these picks. These are good picks. Oh, what I should do is go against Steve to try to win this here contest.
Go ahead.
Well, damn, I don't want to do this at all, but I'll go White Mike and the Jets in Seattle to try to.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Fine.
Sorry, it's not personal.
problem.
It's just football.
I'm taking the Vikings.
Okay.
Give me 3.5.
Okay.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate that either.
All their games are close except the ones they get blown out in.
These are good picks. Hey, Helix, you know who's sleeping well? That John Robinson. It didn't fix anything. All the Titans do is lose football games. Use code Greenlight.
You know who's sleeping well? You said John Robinson. It made me think of Eddie Robinson, who made me think of Ed Reed and all the Bethune-Cookman players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're sleeping well. They're all of a sudden they got one of the best football players to ever play the game, who should have been a coach 5 years ago. He's brilliant, and he's going to bring a lot of excitement down there. And, Dion's kind of got this he's kind of laid the groundwork for what it looks like for a guy with a big profile to come down there and kick ass. And I think Ed Reed's going to kick ass.
Like Tom versus Time?
Yeah.
My 1v1 matchup is Stanford Steve versus Time because he's out of it.
He's out of it. It's 240. We're going to let him go.
He's got to leave us.
My 1v1 matchup is going to be whoever the Eagles put at right tackle.
Yes.
Whether it's whether they move big fella over there, or it's Dillard, or it's Driscoll, and you get Driscoll more help. But this is going to be a big deal because Lane Johnson basically tore his adductor, it seems, and it's going to be a bitch to come back. I hope he's back in the playoffs, but whoever's out there is going to have to get ready to play some meaningful snaps.
How is your adductor or your abdominal?
It all kind of blends together. I had a lot of groin problems when I was a wee lad.
It's too big?
I had a huge groin, big groin. and the big groin pulls on the hip girdle, and just totally fucks the whole chain up.
Oh, yeah. Here we got a diagram here on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the abductors, which are kind of up in your hip flexor, and then there's the adductors, which is down in your groin area, and that's really painful. So, anyway, Steve, who's sleeping well before you go?
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, gets to go back to Green Bay.
Or maybe Cowboy Reed. Is Cowboy Reed sleeping well after
Reed
the firing?
Is sleeping good.
No, Russell Wilson's still on the team.
I got you.
Well.
But honestly, and Steve, it's been great talking to you. Me and Macon will take this thing home. Go do your thing, brother.
We love you, man.
Safe travels. I love you guys.
I'll be in the Bahamas watching these games this weekend.
I'll be at the Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, and national title game.
Macon will be at his house.
I will be at my house.
Take care, Steve.
Love you guys.
Love you. Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.